Fabulous. Welcome to this audio hypnosis session for restless legs. Quite a lot of people face this in the night where, trying to sleep, legs keep kicking out and twitching and moving. And this session will ease, if not completely relieve you of that issue, that problem, that challenge to your sleeping. And you can discover by listening to this that you really will sleep a lot better. So before we get going, few health and safety things. Don't listen to this if you're driving or operating any sort of heavy machinery. Give yourself, if you can, a half hour so you can listen to it and just sit with it and be with it afterwards, where you're not going to be disturbed. You don't want your phone going off. You want none of that. This is going to be your time just for you. So I imagine you've done that. Make sure if you're sat in a chair, that you're sitting comfortably, or if you're lying on the bed, make it so you're not just going to drop off to sleep. So we'll begin. We'll take 3 deep breaths together. And on the third breath, and just on the third breath, I want you to allow your eyes to gently close, because there's nothing to do really. Just follow this as best as you can, and you will discover a better night's sleep. So let's take a deep breath in. Hold it. Breathe out. Taking a deep breath in. Hold it. Breathe out. Taking a deep breath in. Hold it. And breathe out. And if you've not done so already, just allow your eyes to gently close, just in the time you need to take to relax, to let go. And as you settle into wherever you are, noticing the way your body touches the chair, the bed, the floor. Perhaps there's a warmth or a soft kind of heaviness, or maybe just the awareness of being here. And you really don't have to do anything at all, not even try to relax, because relaxation isn't something you do. It's something that begins to happen when the mind stops needing to make sense of everything. And even if your mind continues to think, you may notice there's another part of you that can begin to listen differently, not with ears, but with space. And you don't even need to know what that means. With each breath now, there's a kind of shifting that happens. Noticing how the breath moves the body slightly, subtly, maybe slower now. As the body breathes, a quietness underneath it all begins to rise. You don't need to picture anything. You don't need to feel anything in particular. You may notice some thoughts drift through, or sensations in your legs. And you might even find yourself wondering, what would happen if they didn't matter right now? Because what matters is simply this moment, and the way your system starts to settle. Not because you're forcing it, but because something inside you has already decided it's time And even though you may not yet be aware of it, your unconscious knows the rhythm, the pattern, the chain of connections that once led to those restless legs. And now it's beginning to unwind. And there really is no need to figure it out. In fact, the more you try to figure it out, the more that deeper part of you can get to work beyond figuring. And even though the part of you that listens might still be trying to listen in the usual way, there's another part that listens with a different kind of attention, the kind that understands, even when you do not. And whatever that part is doing now can begin to soften those circuits of tension, unwind the signal. Like a knot, slowly loosening. Without needing to know how, you may have noticed how your legs sometimes seem to act before you do, as if they hold some story, some memory, or some message that never needed words. But what if now they no longer need to shout? What if now your body begins to feel heard? Not through words, but through stillness. Because sometimes it's not that the legs need to move, but that something in life hasn't yet found rest. And now, as the nervous system begins to quiet, as the muscles remember that they don't have to prepare to run, as the legs themselves begin to feel more like home, there's a change happening already, even if it's subtle, even if it's unseen. And so as you're listening to this, I I want you very gently just to bring the thumb and your forefinger together, lightly, effortlessly, just a signal, nothing more. And as you do, allow your mind to recall, or even just pretend to recall, what it might be like for your legs to feel calm, not stiff, not numb, but simply at peace, as if beneath everything there's a quiet agreement between body and mind to stop chasing, to stop fighting, to simply be, and let that light pressure in the thumb and the finger become a code, a shortcut, a quiet reminder. This is what ease feels like. And every time you press those fingers in the future, during the day, or as you lie in bed, your system can begin to respond more easily each time, as if it already remembers. And so imagine, not with images, but with ideas, that deep within your legs, something is relearning. Like the way grass grows back after being trampled, not instantly, but inevitably. And you really don't need to know what part of your brain is involved in that relearning. You don't need to know how that movement becomes stillness. Only that it's possible. And you're unconscious, having heard what it needed to hear, is already on that path. You don't have to feel anything special. Sometimes these things begin in the space between awareness. Like a shift, you only notice once it's already happened. And so tonight, or perhaps some night soon, as you lie down to sleep and the room quiets, there may be a moment where the old twitch, the old rhythm tries to return. And maybe in that moment, you smile, just slightly, because you remember it doesn't have to stay. And you bring thumb to forefinger, and something lets go. Something that used to be automatic just does not happen. Or it happens once, but then it doesn't need to again. Because something else has taken root. And whether it's tonight or in the days ahead, your unconscious is already committed to rewriting this pattern, one night at a time. And so in a moment, not yet, but soon, you'll begin to return to ordinary awareness. But perhaps something will feel just a little different. Like your body's a little less urgent, like your thoughts a little more still. And your legs, well, they've already heard. So now take a deep breath. A deeper breath. And begin to return easily, gently. Eyes open when you're ready, feeling settled, carrying the sense that something important has already begun.